I mean, because there's not a lot happening in every episode thus far that kind of warrants like the
standalone episodes.
Yeah, these standalone episodes, at least like when you compare this to like Mandalorian, at least Mandalorian had like a every episode something was fucking happening, and it was a full-on, it felt like a full-on movie, and it was always moving towards the overall plot to some fucking degree. And whether it was a major plot, either it was like a major focus of the show, or like like sort of like a subplot, but you never forgot it was there. With Bad Batch so far, it's not it's I don't know, man. It's a slow burn.
I would say with the last season of Clone Wars, they released it weekly. But
I was just about to say
that worked out well. But the reason it worked out well is because Clone Wars already had all the storylines put in, all the content lined up for this shit to happen, and then just to pop off while this started.
Let me tell. I recently watched Clone Wars again. That shit is a slow burn too.
It is.
That is a slow.
Well, I'm saying yes. With the last season.
Last season was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was solid, and it was shorter.
I'm saying in this, because the last season is Disney. The rest of it was before Disney. So that's separate. So with let's say with the weekly release.
I feel like because it's an animated show, and that's in Disney, that's their approach in general, as we see from their shows, their live action shows. But because it's an animated show, I feel like the weekly release is maybe not for working adults like us, because it's too slow for us. We're ready to like get the story going because we got other shit to do.
That's what I'm saying. Because like when it came to like Clone Wars, we already had the story going. We already had the content there. It was just the story was just rolling. With this, it's building the story. But for this is building it, it feels slow for us because like, hey, we already got to get to the point.
Hey, you know what? At least with Clone Wars, they had sub arcs going down in their seasons. So there'd be like 2, 3, 4 episodes that be like its own story, and then you move on to like the next arc. I mean, at least in that sense, that kept you invested because it was an actual story going on. It was actually progressing in a tangible way. Clone Wars, I mean not Clone Wars. That's how Clone Wars was. Bad Batch, that's not happening. It's sort of like jumping.
It's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn, but like there's no sense of like the plot being driven forward.
It's
not noticeably, at least.
Probably because right now we're just focused on the one set of characters. Well, as you mentioned before, with Clone Wars, it switched not just from like story to story, but from character set to character.
Right, because we didn't stay on like
it had a recycle of different let's say it's that rich amount of content is what made Clone Wars continue to flow on well. While with this, we've just been focused on this one batch so far.
And then like the rise of the empire like really the rise of the empire and how everything is.
You know what? I will say that they are actually showing like how people are reacting to that shit in the universe to that, because like there's a lot of cheering and shit. Like, yo, they like the war is over, the empire is doing, and like, and little did they know. They know.
This is how democracy dies, with thunders and claws.
They don't know that. They were just tired of that goddamn war, and like they stabilized the whole fucking,
Oh yeah, because you saw that shit all the time. Hell, it turned the Jedi into a fucking terrorist, bro. Hell yeah, no niggas did not like this war. Like,